Hey everybody, wanting to try to keep up a bit of momentum now, so I'm going to have a look at the dash. This one to go in, this one to come out. Now, not done one of these before, but looking at this dash here and having a quick look online, there's some metal rods that screw up through the bottom of the dash, so all of this has got to come out. The screws, which they're from what I can gather, they're long rods. There's one there, one on that side, one at the very end there, and another hidden under the center console. And as far as I can see, once those are out, that thread all the way up into the top of the dashboard. There's one there that you can see, another one there, and another one there. And where's the last one? Where is the last one? Oh yeah, there it is. The last one there. In theory, once the steering wheel is off and all of the switches are popped out, that should just then drop out. So let's have a look, see what happens. So we'll begin the process by popping off the center console. So a couple of torques there and there. Then there are a couple of screws here. I've replaced this console before, as you'll have seen in a previous video. So once those are out, that should then pop forwards and give us access to the screws up underneath here somewhere. With all of those screws now out and the roof switch disconnected, this should now slide forwards. There we go. It's that one now. Hopefully give me access that I need. Up under here. Aha, there we go. There's one, and there's the other one. Right, let's get those out now. Okay, this is the first of the long rods. That screws all the way through to, so I'll show you on this one to orientate it. So it's kind of coming up into this area here. So on the replacement panel, it is coming through that hole there. So effectively, it is doing something like this through there, and then, oops, get that focused, and then threading all the way through into the top of the dash. With that rod now removed, that edge of the dashboard is already coming forwards. So I'm now going to pop out the steering wheel. There's always one, isn't there? This thread here is absolutely rotten, so I'm going to have to drill that one out, I think. Unless there's a way around that one, which I don't think there will be. So gently prise the center pad off the steering wheel, and there's one bolt through there. Not being an airbag wheel makes things a little bit easier. So 22mm socket on the steering wheel. Just one bolt in this one, and that should now, he says, there we go, that is now off, which is going to make access to, well, the dash face you can't possibly come out with the steering wheel in place. Just makes it a little bit easier to work around it as well. I should have probably done that first, but there you go. Interesting, I was just about to go and grab some masking tape, and evidently somebody has had this out before at some point. I'd love to know the history. I'm always interested with stuff like that. Just when it was that somebody labelled all of these and why it is that they had the dash out. It's quite nice actually, as I'm sort of continually looking to motivate myself with this. I forget as well momentarily that this has got aircon as well, which with the sunroof as well was a lovely little feature. Yes, this has been out because the mount on the top there, that little tab there, should have a circular hole like that one just there. So Yeah, someone has been in here before. So we shall see if that is going to help or hinder as we are removing and reinstalling it, because it may be there's some broken tabs here and there. But let's get it out and see what we're dealing with. I'll also take photos of the connections here just to make things a little bit easier when they're being plugged back in, because you can guarantee that you won't remember exactly where all the wires should go. Right, we're getting there. There's a couple of things I would say is this little orange bar which controls the heat inside the car. It connects onto there, and it would have made a heck of a lot more sense to disconnect that from around about there-ish. I'm going to show you, it just goes on the back of this, because what I have done is to instead pull that bar from, let's get a bit more light in there, from the, you can just about see it there, pulled it from the dashboard, the back of the dashboard. So I'm hoping that I can fit that in again nice and easily, and I've not made a huge job for myself, but it's nearly there. Just this final one here that needs drilling out, and the rest of it is looking, it's all disconnected, it's looking like it'll now lift forwards. Right, so having popped out the air vent from this side here, I can see what I think is, well, it is the bar location, but I think that's the outer sleeve. I don't think that's the threaded bar itself, because these bars are this obvious metal. I think that's a sleeve, so I'm not even able to get to it from there. The only thing I can think, because obviously this dashboard is now redundant, is to gently crack, if this is just the casing, to crack through the plastic casing to then be able to get a pair of pliers on it to twist it out. So I'll try that and see what happens. Right, I've managed to prise this dash surround off, but the vent is still firmly in place. However, I can see just there, that's the bar that I need to get to, so now I at least have access to be able to manually thread that out. Finally, there it goes. That is the offending piece. Bosh. So we are now dash facia out. So now is a job of putting it back together. Here's a fun part, trying to remember where all of this goes, and first of course I've got to work out how to relocate the other end of that. So let's dive in there, see what's going on. Well, I'm a little bit stumped with this. This rod travels into the back there somewhere and sits kind of around about there. So what I'm going to do is to remove the dash top speaker and see if I can access it that way, because it's going to be somewhere around there. Okay, that's more like it. So with these tiny little screws here, the speaker panel is out, and it is that rod that you can see right there, that silver rod. So if I feed this one through, you'll see roughly where it comes to. That one simply needs to attach onto the back of that one, and we're back in business. There we go. I'm more than a little bit relieved about that, to be honest. You can see the action just there. Right, now to put all this back together and see just how many screws that I can't remember where they go, and how many of these wires that aren't labelled that I've just pulled out. No, I think I do know where they all go. Let's see. Right, the first thing is to get these switches back in. And that just kind of tidies up a little bit the excess stuff going on in the back of the dashboard there. And it's actually not too complicated at all once you actually start to plug stuff back in. So let's keep on working through those. Get this heater rod connected back on the back of that unit there, and we should rapidly begin to make some progress with this. Now, I'm not quite sure what's going on with the wiring here. So this is where somebody's been into the back of the dash before, and there is attached to a couple of spades there, there's this LED which used to sit in a hole in the dash about there. I am thinking possibly a set of additional fog lamps. I'm not going to start getting into that wiring now. What I'm going to do is to just feed those wires through there where the rear fog lamp switch sits, and yeah, put a circuit meter on it and see what's going on there. But the rest of this is now beginning to come back together, and it's nearly ready to be aligned and gently pushed back into place. Fingers crossed. Right, just in the nick of time before the light begins to fade a little bit too much, and I can smell that my dinner is already on the table, so I'm going to whiz in now. But we are in situ. I've not bolted everything down just yet because I want to get the keys in the ignition and just check everything over, make sure that lights and the heater and everything are working. So these are all in situ, but they're not properly bolted up yet. But I'm really pleased with that. Really pleased with it. It didn't take too long at all. And it is just looking a lot tidier there. So I shall leave it there for now. Thank you for tuning in, people. And I hope it's been helpful for a few people as well along the way. Take it easy, and I'll see you again very soon.